welcome back to Mini-Man's tutorials for the Xbox 360. Anyways, what we're going to be doing today is learning if your power brick is all shot to shit and you don't know what to do. What are you going to do? Well, me, being Mini-Man, have the answer for you. Hold on just 1 second, because today I'm going to show you how to power your Xbox 360 with a PSU power supply. So, what you're going to need to do, what you're going to need for this tutorial is, 1, PC power supply preferably above 300 volts, should be enough for whatever Xbox you're using. Or, actually, I have no clue what the voltage is. Actually, I think it's above 200 volts. I'm sorry, above 200 volts, not volts, watts. Above 200 watts. There, above 200 watts. Okay, you're going to need that. Next.
Is this for beginners?
No, it is not for beginners.
Really?
Beginners, you get out of here. Get.
Why?
You're not welcome.
I'm good.
No, trust me. You're going to need a desoldering iron. See? Isn't that a scary thought?
Oh, so you're saying that people who don't know how to fix things should probably not do this?
Exactly.
This is
also,
for experts?
If you don't know how to solder stuff, don't do this. If you don't know how to use this, don't use this.
And if you fuck up your Xbox, it's not our fault, it's yours, because we're warning you to not do this.
If you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to need this, your soldering iron, and solder solder. Rosin core works the best. And use leaded. Leaded works much better than unleaded solder.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm going to let these optional, rosin. Helps melt the solder on the board with the unleaded solder on here. And I'm going to heat up my soldering irons, and we're going to get this going. Okay, so now, when you know your soldering iron is hot enough, take some rosin core solder and put it around the mouth of this little opening for your desoldering iron, and it will melt. So just let it melt, and dip your head. This is why I just dip it in the rosin. That helps it melt. So now what you need to do, take your board, flip it over. You'll see these little prongs, all right? What you need to do is take your soldering iron and put it on each of the prongs. And
for how long?
Suck it up. About how long? About a couple seconds should do it. And if it doesn't start melting, add a little bit of your own solder. So what you got to do is you got to take the solder and the iron, put it together in harmony, right down here, and to melt the unleaded solder. And once it starts melting, you'll see that it there's like a little loop, and it will.
Camera can't pick it up.
Well, whatever. You'll see a little loop, and that's when you know that you've basically got it. Just keep doing that until you think you've got a lot of it off. Mop the solder off. Okay, so now, once you have most of the solder off these little pads, what you're going to do, and this is another part where you just have to be patient especially, what you need to do is go to the front of the board again and take your flathead screwdriver and just gently pry up under this little thing right here. You'll see a little crease right there, and just gently pry up on that, and it should just come off eventually. Just keep prying on both sides, and then you go to the other side. I can't really get a good angle of that, but it's the exact same thing. You just have to go up. So just keep doing this. It's very monotonous.
Big word.
I know. I'm so special. Maybe even go to the front of the board and you'll see that little thing right there, and just keep prying up. There we go. You'll hear that a few times. It's a good sign. It means that you're making progress. Remember, don't push too hard or you will crack the board. So again, just be gentle while doing this. There we go. I'm getting this off. Okay. Alright.
That took about 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah, just go slow. It'll look like this when you're done. You might have these little prongs, just sort of bend them back and then they'll fall off. Alright, so for this part, you're going to need your trusty soldering iron right here. Again, flux is recommended. You don't need it, but really recommended. Ow, it's hot. Recommended. Okay, flux recommended. I'm just going to put this over here. Just get that on the tip of your solder if you have it. Get some solder on the end of your tip. And you're ready to go. Now what you're going to need from your power supply is 3 12-volt connections, which is the yellow wire for all you cavemen out there. 3 grounds. And then depending on your type of board, you're going to need the type of power supply, you're going to need a blue wire or a purple wire. For this one, I think it might be the purple wire. You're just going to have to test it out yourself. Okay, so first off, we're going to need to show you which connections are which. So the bottom is ground. This right here is ground. And then next row of 3 is the 12-volt connections. So you're going to put your 12-volt wires in there. These two, depending on, again, which power supply you have, this one would be the 5-volt standby, and this one would be the power on. Now, if you have a certain one, you just put the purple wire in here, it'll be ready to go. Otherwise, you put the blue wire here and a red wire here, which is a 5-volt connection. So you'll just have to test it out. Either one will work, just depending on your board. So here we go. Take your ground, and let's get started. So for this part, I just put poke some holes in this solder, just by putting some solder on the end of your soldering iron, and just poking. And then you'll get some good old-fashioned leaded solder in there. Alright, now, next you gotta do the 12-volt connections.
Where do you place that?
You place it in the middle 3 spots. Okay, that's good enough. Alright, so now at this point I'm gonna try my purple line, my purple connection. If that doesn't work, I'll try the red and the yeah, you know what I mean. The red and the other one. Don't forget to not connect these pads or else you will short out and fry your motherboard. And it is the purple wire. Chances are it's the purple wire. Put it up at the top left pad. Here's a little, we'll pause at this, but here's a little pinout of the little pads. So, again, everything's working great now. What you're going to need to do when you're done with this and you have it all tested and running is you're going to need to cover it with some hot glue so that nothing happens to it. I think I covered everything. Just,
do you have any questions?
If you have any questions, comment below. And the dibbly-doo. The dibbly-doo. And, yeah, just enjoy. And remember, this is only for experienced people. If you do not know what you're doing, do not attempt this. Do not try it. Do not, just don't. Just don't. Just don't. So it worked to show you. Bam. Skadoosh. And here it comes. There it is. Good boy. Good boy.